Did you know that a single wrong move with your automatic car could cost you more than an entire vacation? And the worst part is, you do it almost every day without even realizing it. To be honest, automatic cars might seem easier to drive, more comfortable, more modern, but they also have a fragile side. And no, I'm not talking about complicated or technical mistakes, I'm talking about simple things. It can seriously damage your automatic transmission, and believe me, a damaged transmission is like open heart surgery, but for your wallet. This video isn't meant to scare you, it's to protect you, so you can drive smart, take care of your car, and above all, not waste money on a mistake that was totally avoidable. Number 1. Not using the handbrake when parking. The most underestimated mistake. If you're on a slope, even a slight one, and you don't engage the handbrake, all the weight of the car rests on that tiny pin inside the automatic transmission. Over time, it wears out, and when it breaks, there's no turning back. You're looking at a repair bill of $2,000 to $3,000 on average, and that's not even counting the stress of being stranded somewhere inconvenient. Number 2. Shifting from drive to reverse while moving. The fastest way to kill your transmission. Automatic transmissions are designed to operate with smooth, sequential, progressive movements. When you shift from drive to reverse without coming to a complete stop, you're forcing the transmission to change direction while the wheels are still spinning forward. A repair for this will cost you no less than $1,500 to $3,000, depending on your car's model. And if it's a modern car, the damage might mean you have to replace the entire transmission. Third, putting the car in park before coming to a stop. The silent killer of your transmission. When you shift the lever to park, what you're doing is engaging a metal pin that fits into a slot to lock the wheels and keep the car from moving. But that system wasn't designed to stop a moving car, only to keep it still once it's already at a complete stop. If the car is still rolling, even slowly, that pin tries to force itself into a spinning gear. The result is a sharp metallic clunk that, if repeated several times, can break the pin, damage the parking gear, or even crack internal parts of the automatic transmission. We're talking about a repair that can cost between $1,500 and $3,500. All because you wanted to save 2 seconds. Number 4. Shifting to neutral while moving. The mistake that saves you nothing and could cost you a lot. Most modern cars for over a decade now have been designed with smart injection systems. This means that when you're going downhill with the transmission in drive and your foot off the accelerator, the car automatically cuts off the fuel supply. Repeatedly switching between N and D causes internal jolts in the automatic transmission, especially if you do it often in traffic, and it can end up costing you between $1,000 and $3,000 in accumulated damage. Number 5. Starting from neutral or by spinning the wheels. Starting from neutral or spinning the wheels is a direct hit to the transmission. When you start the car from neutral by revving the engine and then suddenly shift into drive, you're forcing the automatic transmission to absorb all that energy at once. The transmission is designed to make smooth transitions, not to withstand sudden shocks of torque. The same thing happens when you start by spinning the wheels. When the wheels spin without initial traction, the internal components of the transmission suffer brutal wear in just milliseconds. The cost of repairs? Anywhere from $1,500 to $4,000, depending on the damage and the vehicle model. Number 6. Driving with your foot resting on the brake. Wear and tear without you even noticing. When you keep your foot lightly resting on the brake pedal while driving in drive, even if you're not braking completely, you're creating constant friction in the braking system. This means the brake pads and discs are working all the time, even when you don't need them to. The cost might not seem high at first, but it adds up, between $300 and $800 for replacing brakes prematurely, and if it affects the transmission, the damage can go up to $2,500. Number 7. Driving with the gas tank almost empty. It's more dangerous than you think. Many people think driving on reserve doesn't have much of an impact, but in automatic cars, this can even affect the transmission because the fuel pump doesn't just supply the engine. In many models, it also helps cool and lubricate certain components of the automatic transmission. When the fuel level is very low, the pump starts to suck in air and sediment from the bottom of the tank, reducing fuel pressure and raising the internal temperature of the system. This can damage the fuel pump, which costs between $500 and $1,000, and speed up the wear of the transmission. In the long run, you could end up with an overheated transmission or hydraulic failures, which means repairs costing $2,000 to $3,500. Number 8. Driving your car into deep water. A death sentence for your transmission. The automatic transmission is completely sealed, yes, but it's not waterproof. When you drive through flooded areas or cross deep puddles, water can get in through the transmission system's vents, especially if they're low or the seal is worn out. Water inside the transmission causes rust, foaming, overheating, and before long, total system failure. And that can cost you between $3,000 and $5,000, depending on the damage and the car model. Number 9. Ignoring the transmission fluid, the silent mistake that destroys from within. Transmission fluid isn't just any oil. It's responsible for lubricating, cooling, cleaning, and generating the hydraulic pressure needed for the gears to shift properly. The silent deterioration of the fluid can cause failures in sensors, valves, and internal clutches. A simple fluid change costs between $100 and $300, but a repair due to lack of maintenance can easily climb to $2,000, $3,000, or even more than $4,000 if the transmission needs to be rebuilt. 10. Accelerating when cold, putting stress on the transmission from the very first minute. When you start the car and accelerate hard right away, without waiting a few minutes for the engine and transmission to reach their ideal temperature, you're putting strain on all the systems when they're at their most vulnerable. Accelerating with a cold car cumulatively reduces the lifespan of the transmission. You might not notice anything for weeks or even months, until one day the jerks, delayed shifts, or strange noises start to appear. A bad habit that can end up costing you anywhere from $1,800 to $3,500, depending on the damage. Number 11. Using additives without consulting the manual. Many drivers, with good intentions, add additives to the automatic transmission fluid thinking they're improving performance or protecting the transmission. However, modern transmissions are calibrated to work with a specific type of fluid, with very precise viscosity, friction, and temperature requirements. Using unapproved additives can cause erratic shifting, loss of internal pressure, premature clutch wear, and contamination of the hydraulic system. The result? A transmission that starts to fail progressively and whose repair can cost between $2,000 and $4,000, depending on the model and the severity of the damage. We've gone through 11 common mistakes, 11 habits that may seem quite harmless at first glance, but little by little wear down one of the most sensitive and expensive parts of your car, the automatic transmission. And the most dangerous thing about all this is that the transmission doesn't scream, it doesn't complain, it doesn't throw immediate warning lights at you. It just wears out in silence, accumulating damage after damage, until one day it stops working. That's why this video wasn't just a list of mistakes. It was a warning, an invitation to change habits, to take care of what you have, and to understand that every time you move that lever, you're handling a delicate, precise, and valuable system. So tell me, which of these mistakes were you making without even realizing it? Let me know in the comments. And if you know someone who has an automatic car, your dad, your sister, your best friend, share this video with them. You might be saving them thousands of dollars and a headache they can't even imagine. Remember, taking care of your car isn't just about keeping it clean or filling up the tank. It's about understanding how it works and treating it with the respect it deserves.